the headlines of VTV News. Bamboo diplomacy carries forward its pioneer role in national construction and defense. Strong cold spell grips northern Vietnam. And later on in our world news, rescue work underway after Gansu earthquake in China.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello there, this is VTV News coming live to you from Hanoi. You're with me, Lina Pham, and here's the top news of the hour. Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng stressed the need to stay consistent in principles and flexible in policies and strategies while performing diplomatic tasks in his remarks at the 32nd National Diplomatic Conference that opened in Hanoi on Tuesday, December the 19th. The conference, to last until December the 23rd, brings together leaders and former leaders of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, ambassadors and heads of Vietnamese representative offices abroad, among others. More in the following story.
Giving a special speech at the conference, the Party General Secretary elaborated on the principles of national independence and socialism, and stressed that policies and strategies should be adjusted flexibly, noting Vietnam stands ready to be a friend and a reliable and responsible partner of all countries.
During this year, the party and state leaders have conducted successful visits and phone calls to foreign nations and partners around the world. Since the 13th Party Congress, 40 visits of the party and state leaders to neighboring countries, major nations, strategic partners, and most ASEAN countries. During this time, many heads of state, senior leaders of countries and major international organizations have also visited Vietnam. The international community has also praised and supported Vietnamese diplomacy and policies. These activities strongly affirm the new position of Vietnam in the international arena.
The Party General Secretary also emphasized solidarity and consensus within the entire party, army, and population, stressing that a sound foreign policy and the effective implementation of specific policies will contribute to creating high consensus in the political system, national unity, and international support.
To achieve these fruitful results, contributions of foreign affairs officers are highly valuable. They work with enthusiasm, they hold high responsibility and high professional qualifications, and they are always absolutely loyal to the party and to our regime, and they always put national interests at first whilst carrying out diplomatic missions. On behalf of the party and the state, I deeply thank foreign affairs officers for your great contributions and efforts.
Pointing to complex and unpredictable developments in the region and the world, he urged diplomats to keep a close watch on the situation to make accurate forecasts, especially those for external shocks.
Our principles are national independence and socialism. Our strategy is to be mobile and flexible to adjust to situations. Diplomatic missions must follow Uncle Ho's great ideas, firm in objectives, flexible in strategies and tactics, make more friends and less enemies. Vietnam is ready to be friends with all democratic countries and not make enemies with anyone.
The party leader noted that more attention should be paid to consolidating the apparatus and building a contingent of diplomats.
We must pay attention and do a better job of strengthening the organizational structure and building a team of foreign affairs officials who are comprehensive in terms of bravery, quality, ethics, and intelligence.
The party chief expressed his belief that Vietnam's diplomatic sector will further grow in a modern and comprehensive manner, adhering to the bamboo diplomacy concept, and carry forward its pioneer role in national construction and defense.
Foreign affairs activities take place vibrantly, continuously, and are a prominent highlight in the country's overall achievements. Along with that, foreign affairs and diplomacy work closely, follow the guidelines on foreign policy of the 13th National Party Congress, the instructions of the Politburo, the Secretariat, and party leaders, and the state, at the same time strongly promoting the identity of Vietnam's bamboo diplomacy. Vietnamese ambassadors in foreign countries have also shared with VTV reporters about the implementation orientations for the diplomatic missions in the coming time.
In peacetime, diplomacy needs to take the lead to create a more favorable environment for the country's development. Diplomatic missions need to be proactive, and it also needs to be comprehensive. We must focus on political diplomacy, economic and cultural diplomacy, as well as ensuring citizen protection for Vietnamese people in foreign countries. There is no task more important than others. All must be carried out with all efforts.
All international relations as well as relations between countries are based on economic development with peace plays as the main principle. We will see that the task of diplomacy, the task of foreign affairs, is to build diplomatic relations based on dialogues and cooperation. We take dialogue and cooperation as tools, and take international law as the basis to implement foreign policies.
We comprehensively evaluate all situations, both the negative and positive aspects. We take advantage of new and modern channels to enhance exchanges, increase circulation, and increase market expansion. I talk about e-commerce. As an example, applying high technologies to gradually modernize exchanges between representative agencies and businesses is crucial.
Our comprehensive diplomacy has been implemented for a long time, but in modern times, we need to more actively transform not only domestically but also the diplomatic sector. Although there are still difficulties, we still must be consistent with the set targets, goals, and principles.
On Tuesday morning, the session of the 11th National Congress of the Vietnamese Students Association, directed by State President Võ Văn Thưởng, took place with the participation of many senior leaders. On this occasion, General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng also sent a flower basket to congratulate the National Congress. More in the following.
Over the past 5 years, the Vietnamese Students Association has developed in both quality and quantity. During the term, nearly 300,000 students achieved the title of 5 Good Student, and nearly 20,000 students were honored to join the party. State President Võ Văn Thưởng affirmed that Vietnamese students are intellectuals of the future and the deciding factor in the country's prosperity.
Our party and state place deep faith in the youth force, identifying them as a large social force, one of the most important elements determining the future and the destiny of the nation, and has proposed many policies to educate, train, and promote the youth role. Vietnamese youth has always been a force contribute to the nation's liberation, unification, and development.
Based on the world's current situation, the Vietnamese state president advised students should determine their mindset and responsibility towards the country.
Each Vietnamese youth needs to remember the sacrifice of the previous generation and take pride in the country's historic tradition and culture. Our nation holds the spirit of great righteousness and kindness that always loves peace and is filial, friendly, and respectful of other nations. Those traditions and that pride need to be spread and penetrated deeply into each youth, so that they can be proud and confident when stepping into the world.
State President Võ Văn Thưởng proposed that the Students' Association orient students to have the right mindset and strive in education. There should be more practical activities to support students to identify their motivations for learning. The State President also hopes relevant ministries, agencies, and localities to create favorable conditions for the students to develop comprehensively and make contributions to the country.
The Communist Party of Vietnam (CPV) and the Lao People's Revolutionary Party or LPRP held their 10th theoretical workshop in Quảng Ninh province on December the 19th, focusing on experiences in developing culture and humans in the socialist-oriented national development process. Head of the Vietnamese delegation to the workshop, Politburo member Nguyễn Xuân Thắng, who is also president of the Ho Chi Minh National Academy of Politics, HCMA, and chairman of the Central Theory Council, said that the workshop was an opportunity for the Vietnamese and Laos parties to share experiences on their leadership in the socialist-oriented development of culture and people. The official highlighted important results in promoting and building cultural and human values into development values and the soul in all areas of the country's social life. Head of the Lao delegation, Politburo member and Deputy Prime Minister Khi Kiao Khai Kham Phi Tho Thun, said that the workshop's theme was extensive, covering many issues and having profound theoretical and practical significance in the innovation and integration process of both countries. He emphasized the awareness and viewpoints of the LPRP in cultural and human development, affirming to continue promoting the nation's unique cultural values and consistently developing the civilized spirit of society. The year of 2023 is transitioning to 2024, and during this time, business activities have bounced back really well. There have been over 200,000 newly established businesses and re-entered the market recorded in the past 11 months. This partly shows the effectiveness of the government's policies to create capital flows into businesses' activities, especially in the groups of service and manufacturing enterprises.
Wholesale and retail is among fields recording the highest number in terms of newly established businesses in the past 11 months.
The company opened 3 new stores in the fourth quarter. We have plans to expand and develop more stores.
According to the Department of Business Registration under the Ministry of Planning and Investment, cash flow is the biggest difficulty for new businesses. Capital when setting up a business in the past 11 months was down nearly 8% compared to the same period in 2022. However, the situation gradually changes positively as the end of the year approaches. More businesses have also entered the market.
There was a sharp increase in both the number of businesses and registered capital in November. Specifically, there were more than 14,000 newly established businesses, an increase of nearly 20% over the same period in 2022. The amount of capital also increased 47% over the same period.
The average capital of newly registered enterprises in November reached the highest level since the beginning of the year.
The government and ministries are really determined to create all conditions for the business community and household economy to develop. Many sectors have been prioritized for bank loans at preferential interest rates. The costs that businesses previously had to pay are postponed, waived, or extended. The economic environment is getting more stable.
The impressive growth in the number of businesses entering the market will contribute to creating more job opportunities and income for society. In November, the number of registered employees increased by more than 7% compared to the same period last year. In the field of processing and manufacturing industry, job opportunities increased by nearly 30%.
The Prime Minister has issued a dispatch urging localities to implement effective solutions to promote the safe, transparent, and sustainable development of the real estate market. These measures are expected to expedite in the recovery process of the real estate market, particularly as investors restructure and rebalance their focus towards developing housing segments with a genuine demand.
There has been a recent surge in demand for residential apartments in big cities. However, only a limited number of qualified properties are being sold. In the past, people were primarily interested in inner-city apartments, but now properties in the suburbs are also selling out despite insufficient supply.
The suburban area of Long Biên has many amenities. It is also developing strongly and doesn't lack anything major. I would say that it is more convenient than the inner city since there are fewer crowds.
According to the Ministry of Construction's report, despite the recent lack of activity in the real estate market, demand for apartments in the fourth quarter increased by over 6% compared to the same period last year. This indicates a genuine need for housing purchases.
The current real estate market is also showing signs of improvement because bank interest rates have also dropped to a relatively low level. However, around the Hanoi area, there are almost no new projects, and the ones currently being sold have very high prices. As a result, investors are hesitant to purchase, and only a small number of transactions are recorded.
Businesses must estimate the recovery period for the market so that they can calculate which segment of housing is in high demand, especially now that the real estate market is relatively gloomy.
In large cities, the demand for housing increases by approximately 70 million square meters each year. As a result, there is a need to expedite the restructuring of the real estate sector in order to meet actual housing needs. In addition to the government's efforts to find solutions, the recent passing of the housing law and real estate business law by the National Assembly also plays a significant role. This provides investors with specific guidelines to promote housing products that currently have genuine demand.
Coming up next, strong cold spell grips northern Vietnam. And Vietnamese cuisine among 100 best in the world. Welcome back to VTV News. Cold air weather systems have strengthened, delivering severe weather in the northern provinces and causing bad weather in many coastal areas. Since December the 20th, the north is forecast to have a low daily temperatures and sun. In particular, the lowest temperature at night in the northern Midlands and Delta provinces, including Thanh Hóa, Nghệ An, is from 9 to 12 degrees Celsius. In the northern mountainous region, it is from 5 to 8 degrees Celsius. Some places witnesses the temperature below 3 degrees Celsius. At sea, from Quảng Ninh to Cà Mau in the north, central and west areas of the East Sea, strong winds are forecasted at level 6 to 7, gusts of level 8 to 9, and rough seas. For the tropical depression near the East Sea, it is forecasted that in this early morning, it will enter the East Sea, but then weakened quickly. Religious solidarity is an important content in State of President Ho Chi Minh's thought on great national unity. In Quảng Ninh and Hà Nam provinces for many years, great solidarity houses have been given by the Buddhist Church to support fellow Catholics in difficult circumstances. So let's join our following story during this year's Christmas season.
This Christmas is especially meaningful for Nguyễn Thị Phương as she has a new house. Today, she welcomes guests from Quảng Ninh chapter of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, who gave her a home last year.
I'm very delighted that from now on, I won't have to worry about storm or flooding.
We have coordinated with parishes and priors to care and share the difficulties with Catholic families, including Phương family. They are supported in building a house and have a stable life.
Lê Thị Thuận house has degraded over the years. Her husband is constantly sick, so having a new house is one of the family's dreams. Along with 10 other households, the groundbreaking ceremony to build the house for Thuận was held.
Our household is in great difficulty, but receives many supports. We are very grateful for Buddhist Sangha's caring.
In recent years, the Buddhist Church of Hanam Province has always been united in sharing difficulties with Catholic compatriots in the area, thereby making the relationship closer, promoting local socio-economic development and ensuring security and order in the province.
Over the past many years, there have been dozens of Greek solidarity houses in Hanam and Quảng provinces have given to people in difficult circumstances, including many houses for Catholic fellows. With the spirit of solidarity, mutual love, regardless of religion, practical solidarity projects have contributed to strengthening the solidarity between Buddhists and Catholics.
Quảng Bình province has recently reopened and discovered several new caves. These include Tiên Sơn, Va, and Nước Nứt caves. Tiên Sơn cave, which underwent a long period of renovation and repair, is set to resume operations on Thursday, December 21st. The cave has been upgraded with renovated walkways and stops. The local authorities have also invested in a new mirror bridge, which allows visitors to enjoy views of the Phong Nha countryside from a height of over 100 meters. Additionally, Quảng Bình will be opening two new caves, Hang Va and Nước Nứt cave. Hang Va stretches 1.7 kilometers in length and connects to Nước Nứt cave. The main attractions of these interconnected caves are the underground lakes and thousands of unique stalactites. Vietnamese cuisine continues to shine internationally, having secured the 22nd spot on the 100 best cuisines in the world, with an average score of 4.44 over 5 as voted by readers of the food magazine Taste Atlas. Accordingly, Vietnam's best-rated food include phở, bánh hỏi, Phú Quốc fish sauce, dragon fruit from Phan Thiết, and more. Meanwhile, in the 100 best dishes category, 100 most delicious dishes in the world, two typical Vietnamese dishes, bánh mì and phở bò, were also named, ranked 14th and 100th, respectively. Two localities with diverse and attractive cuisine appeared in the Best Food Cities and Regions category, Huế number 28th and Ho Chi Minh City 73rd. Finally, in the Best Iconic Food Places category, Phở Thìn Lò Đúc restaurant, opened in 1979, was ranked 90th by Taste Atlas experts, with its unique stir-fried rare beef phở imbued with flavor. Coming up next in our world news, rescue work underway after Gansu earthquake in China. And US, Japan, South Korea launched a data sharing system for missile warnings. At least 126 people were killed and hundreds were injured in a 6.2 magnitude earthquake that occurred on Sunday night in northwestern China. Immediately after the earthquake, Chinese President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Keqiang requested to focus all efforts on finding victims and overcoming the consequences. More than 100 ambulances, medical staff, over 3,000 firefighters, sniffer dogs, and around 10,000 sets of equipment were transported to the disaster area. The Ministry of Finance immediately allocated the more than $28 million to support the people. Gansu province alone has nearly 400 people wounded, while all facilities and communication was severely damaged. Since the affected area located in the high mountains at a temperature of -14 to -15 degrees Celsius, rescue forces encountered many difficulties in responding to aftershocks. Attacks by Yemen's Houthi movement targeting ships in the Red Sea are affecting maritime transport activities. Currently, several large transportation companies have begun to shift their routes around Africa. According to analysts, these companies account for about 50% of the global shipping containers market. The United States and partner countries have now established a security alliance of 10 countries to protect commercial ships. The Suez Canal connects the Mediterranean with the Red Sea and is the shortest transport route between Europe and Asia. The number of shipping trips by sea through this canal accounts for about 15% of the total number of global maritime shipping trips. Ships avoiding crossing the Red Sea will take longer time to arrive and travel longer distance, thus increase transport costs. South Korea, the U.S., and Japan launched a real-time data sharing system for missile warnings. South Korea's Ministry of National Defense stated that the three countries have established a missile detection and assessment system to ensure the safety of citizens and strengthen capabilities of relevant agencies. According to South Korean Defense Minister Shin Won-sik, the types of data will include launch points, flight path, and expected missile impact points. The activation of this system took place just one day after North Korea launched what it claimed was an intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, Hwasong-18, the country's fifth ICBM launch this year. High inflation is causing many households in Europe to adjust their spending budgets for this year's Christmas holidays. According to supermarket managers and market analysts, many people are cutting back on gift costs along with restrictions on eating out at restaurants during Christmas.
In France, a survey showed that people set the goal of reducing their spending budget by an average of $20 compared to last Christmas. The majority of survey participants included gifts in their cost-saving list.
The maximum budget is $66. Compared to last year, we spent $87 or $98. That means we have less choice in gifts, but the most important thing is to make the recipient happy.
According to research by management consulting firm McKinsey, many consumers in France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and the UK from different income groups are switching to cheaper products, or switching to shop at lower-priced retailers.
People tend to buy more, but at lower prices. In the context of inflation and declining purchasing power, they will make a beautiful gift of a certain value, or combine many small products with cheaper prices.
Instead of celebrating Christmas in restaurants, many European consumers are celebrating Christmas this year at home. It can forecast that Europe will celebrate Christmas in a more economical way.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. If you would like to watch our programs, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.